Hi there YouTube, it's Emma from Emma's Bookish Lifestyle, and with today being Mental Health Day, I wanted to just talk to you about how I approach my reading TBR and also some of the sort of tips and tricks I use to keep my mental health. And at the moment I've had quite a lot of things happening. I seem to be one of those people that always has something going on in life that it enables you to seek out that time to escape, and reading is one of those things. Now, I know a lot of YouTubers post regular TBR videos, and I often find that although the TBR videos are posted and they are very interesting, sometimes the wrap-up videos are different to what I expected. That might be because they haven't felt inclined to read the book that was on their TBR, or it could be for any number of reasons. They just ran out of time in their general daily lives. And I've decided that if I'm going to continue this channel and continue it honestly, I need to tell you what my TBR process is. So I'm very much a mood reader. I read a lot. I've always got at least one book, if not more, on the go at any given time. I am not afraid of formats, so I will have an ebook, an audio book, a paper book. And one thing I've really kind of started to embrace wholeheartedly with a change in my lifestyle is utilising my local library. And one of the things that kind of stemmed that for me was the fact that I felt it was being underutilised. My local library was at risk and continues to be periodically on and off put at risk of being shut down. And despite the town growing ever more, people don't seem to be embracing the availability of it as much as they maybe might. I know that there are obviously resources now with Amazon and Kindle that enable us to be distracted and easily be able to arrange access to content that we want to read, but without actually having to go out to our local independent bookshop or go out to a shopping centre at all. It can be delivered direct to our home or to our tablet or our Kindle, and these facilities are available. But what I want to reiterate, and I'm going to start to do with my reading, is ensure that each month I select at least one book, if not more, that I'm going to read from the library. Now, financial circumstances have meant that I am not in a position to purchase books. I no longer have available income to purchase them. With this in mind, I have determined to approach my TBR slightly differently. I have a lot of books. I own a lot of books that I have unread, and they're sitting on shelves and they look wonderful. And I have a lot of books sitting on my Kindle. I have my local library. I also have Bookbridger, which is my local library's access point to ebooks and audiobooks. I had an Audible account, which I've now shut down provisionally because at the moment I have sufficient audiobooks to listen to, and I don't again have the funds to pay for audiobooks that I would like to read. So I have now decided to approach my TBR in a different way, and what I'm going to now do is endeavour to select at least one book from my stash, my book stash, at least one book from there, at least one book from my library, and at least one book from my cache of novels available to me on my Kindle that I have, which I think is broaching on almost 150 unread books. I'd like to also try and start reading my way through the NetGalley books that I got myself approved for. Part of this reason is I want to actually carry on reading for NetGalley and being able to have proofs, but because I'm not allowing myself time to read them, I often get accepted and time gets away with me and I don't get the opportunity to do that. So this video is very much, I'm going to show you the books that I've got at the moment, what I'm planning on reading, and this is a loose TBR, so please don't hold it against me. And what I'm going to try and do is do a wrap-up style video where at the end of each month I tell you my thoughts, what I'm thinking of books. And I'm putting a call out there to all you fellow booktubers. If there's any of these books that you see that you like the look of, if there is an author that you think we might have in common, I'm extremely keen to do buddy reads. I love buddy reads. I find them exhilarating. I find them expanding in my brain. They give you another viewpoint than your own that sometimes will highlight and identify things you never thought you could do. And one of the things that I'm doing at the moment is a buddy read of Virginia Woolf's The Waves. And what I'm getting from this so far at the moment is kind of twofold. Firstly, I watched a video by Jen Campbell, which I will link down below, which basically showed how she annotated poetry. But what I've done is taken her lead and direction a little bit and advice, and I've started to keep a notepad where I am annotating, making notes, keeping thoughts of the areas of this buddy read that I'm reading. It's enabled me to put not only my own thoughts but also the thoughts of my fellow buddy readers in one place to see and learn and develop my reading and writing style. Part of this reason is because it can be quite an introverted hobby, reading, and that's not a bad thing. I love that, and there's a lot of times where I intentionally seek that out. But I still want to grow. I still want to learn new things. I want to be exposed to new authors. I want to share experiences with my fellow readers. And so this is a kind of a, come on guys, a call to arms. Let's get some buddy reading going. And I'm quite happy to host. I'm quite happy to host on Goodreads. And I thought maybe a good call to arms would be this particular book. It's going to be quite divisive, I think, and going to open up a lot of conversations. So this is Unfollow by Megan Phelps Roper. And I'm sure if you follow Simon from Savage Reads, you know that he's going to be doing an event shortly where he's actually going to be meeting Megan. And I was hoping to be able to go up and attend that event. But I'm just not, unfortunately, going to be able to afford to do so. And this is going to be an extremely interesting book for me. I've quite enjoyed watching the documentaries by Louis Theroux, especially find it interesting how he approaches certain subjects in certain areas of the world. I know a lot of his documentaries are based in America. However, this particular book is based obviously around the Westboro Baptist Church, which has had quite a heavy form of publicity, negative publicity, not good publicity. Louis Theroux has actually done 2 visits to the Westboro Church where he actually met Megan, and he's followed her through her life, teenage years essentially, and her family in this institution, and also then now her leaving. She's not the only member of the family to have left. Also, one of her sisters has left, which I haven't had the opportunity to get hold of that book yet, but it's on my wish list for Christmas. And so I thought this book, Unfollow, might be a good place to start. So I'm putting the call out there. Would you like to do this buddy read with me? If you would, please put in the comments down below, and I'll set up a Goodreads group where we can all go and we can all discuss it and our thoughts and views and feelings on it. I have seen interviews with Megan, and I feel she's very concise in her opinions, very open and very honest. And I want to see if that is relayed in the same way in her book, and to see how her life has developed and how her life has changed from what is essentially a religious sect, and what she thinks the future is going to hold for her family relationships. So, as I say, that's my first TBR book. So if you'd like to do a buddy read on that, I'm looking at trying to get to that in the next 2 weeks. Or I'm quite happy to consider towards the end of October if that is something you would be interested in reading with me. So, as I say, I'm already currently reading The Waves as a buddy read this month, and I would love to do Unfollow. So please give me a shout. Apologies, I think I might have knocked the camera. The next book I'm currently reading is The Gospel of Loki by Joanne M. Harris. This is one of my selections from my library stash. I've currently got 8 books out from the library, and this is one of the ones I'm looking forward to reading. It is fantasy. It's based on the character of Loki. I am a Marvel freak. I love the character of Loki, so I want to experience it in written form. The next library book I have is by George Mann, and this is Witchwood. And I'll be brutally honest with you, this was a cover selection, but then I read the back of it and it really completely drew me in. I believe it's a crime fiction, and I think the reason why it drew me in was the fact that I was reading Bellman and Black, which is the buddy read with Kate Lumsden, and I think that's your name. Apologies if I've got that wrong. And so I'm really quite drawn into the whole dark and sinister world of crows and ravens. So that's what that one's there for. I have Raw Blood by Catriona Ward, and this is a book that I was kindly gifted by Victoria from Eve's Alexandria. She's been telling me and raving on at me that this is a fantastic book. I have another of her books to read, I think it's Little Eve, but I want to read this one first, and I believe we're now coming into the sort of autumnal season when this is going to apply best. His Bloody Project by Graham McRae Burnett. This is, I believe, a true crime story. It was a Man Booker Prize shortlist from 2016. I've had it on my shelves since then. So both of these come under the Shopping My Stash selection. And last but not least, The Good Doctor of Warsaw. Now, this is a proof copy that, again, I've been desperate to get onto and just haven't had chance. This was actually published back in January 2018, and I am devastated that it's taken me this long to get to it. So that is my task. This is not an October TBR, this is a current TBR, and I'm going to keep it as a rolling film. I think it'd be interesting for you guys to see how my moods flow and ebb and change. I do also have my Kindle, however, as yet I haven't selected a book from there. I think I've got enough to be going on with. So for now, I hope you're all well, BookTube, and I look forward to hearing if any of you are interested in doing the Unfollow buddy read down below. Take care. Bye.